Grammar, welcome back. So we are going to now look at the lesson template. And like I said, the lesson template that I will be demonstrating has to deal with grammar, but this works with any of the other skills. So there are 3 steps to this lesson template. You have a model with textual enhancement, then you notice and produce. Model, notice, produce. You're going to hear that a lot in this presentation, and I will explain all of these steps more as we go through them. But as I mentioned, notice, we want our students to ask, how are people using this target knowledge? Again, that's whatever we're teaching, whatever we want the students to focus on, aim at, the target knowledge. And we want them to produce. So this is an activity where they have to produce the target knowledge to complete the task. And again, I'm going to demonstrate this. So let's get into it. So our situation for this template, we have our student Lucy here. Her goals, she wants to be able to write in English in a university context. And we've also noticed, or she has noticed about herself, that she says these kinds of sentences. I drove in the store, when she meant I drove to the store. Very different meaning. Is your car in Walmart? That'd be a bit strange. What kind of classes have you taken? When she meant what kind of classes have you taken? So prepositions, which is the grammar concept that I will be focusing on in this template lesson, are notoriously difficult for English language learners. These are the kinds of things that we're looking for, that her goals and what we notice about her or what she has noticed about herself, they inform what kind of lesson that we're going to be teaching. This template lesson focuses on 3: of, in, and to. So the first step of the template, as I mentioned, is the model. And so in this model, students are reading through these example dialogues, and then they have to decide whether they were talking about what they are picking, where they are, or where they are going. So in this first example, Mark says, which kind of apples do you want to buy? And Sam says, one of the sweet ones. How about Fuji apples? Mark says, sounds good. The correct answer for this first example would be what they are picking. And then I go through and I have these other 2 examples as well. Since I am teaching 3 different prepositions in this lesson, I would want to have many more examples. However, they didn't all fit on the slide. So this is the model. And then this model also has textual enhancement. So you can see that I've bolded, underlined, highlighted in red the prepositions. I also, if you noticed, when I was reading these sentences out loud, I emphasized the target knowledge, in this case, the preposition. So I said, which kind of apples do you want to buy? We've told Lucy that we're going to be talking about prepositions, but this part, at this point in the lesson, we're just trying to subconsciously get her to notice what's going on. The next step, noticing, actually takes it to the conscious part of the brain. We describe the way of is used in the model, the way in is used, the way to is used, and we work through that together. So we kind of notice, oh, so when Mark is talking what kind of apples, you have this big category of apples, and you're trying to pick out a specific type of apple. So that might be something that we notice about the way of is used. But we also want to make sure we're talking about our students' experiences, because they've been interacting with English. Presumably this isn't their first day hearing English ever. How have they noticed that the word of is used, or the way in is used, or the way to is used, etc., etc. All right, so model, notice, produce. And this is again that activity where they have to use the target knowledge to complete this activity. So this activity has like 2 parts to it. So they're looking at this grocery list and they're trying to determine what sections each of these items is in. And so you might want to have like a list with multiple different types of items, like something from the lawn and garden section or the apparel section, etc. But like, for example, you could ask the students, which section would you find corn in? like something like that. And they could say, oh, I'd find that in the grocery section. Or the other way you can do this is you can say, oh, I'm in the tire section. How do I get to the restaurant at the entrance? And so they could describe which way they would go. Or you can say, which of these categories would cucumbers be in? So again, they're using of, in, and to in a meaningful activity. So again, that is the template. So model, notice, produce. 3 phases. And of course, after you're done with the produce section, you would also fill that in on the notice paper. So again, this template not only works with grammar, it works with any aspect of language teaching. So first step, you model the target knowledge. Again, that's whatever you're teaching, whatever you want the student to aim to focus on, to target, through authentic examples, how we actually talk, how we actually use whatever it is you're teaching. So then we want them to notice the pattern of the target knowledge. Notice the pattern of the target knowledge. And then you want them to produce the target knowledge in a meaningful activity. You want to make sure that whatever it is meaningful. So model, notice, produce.